Winback Farm of Ontario is home to outstanding sires, including a three-time millionaire pacer tattoo artist who is new in 2025, the last great son of the legendary Some Beach Somewhere and multiple stakes champion Beach Glass, Meadowlands Pace and Ontario Sire Stakes champion Lawless Shadow, and the richest pacing stallion in all of harness racing history, the great Hall of Famer Mick Wicked. Also standing at Winback Farm, Archangel, Better Than Cheddar, Betting Line, My MVP, and Trixton. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
Heather Wilder here with John Butenschoen today from Southern Oaks, and joined with Bailey. Right? Is that Bailey?
This is Bailey. Yep.
I was gonna say I was hoping. I know that also Bella is walking around here too.
Somewhere they're probably looking for cheese balls or peanut butter filled pretzels or whatever we have in stock at the moment.
Well, they are the Butenschoen stable greeters. Let's start talking first about the horses that you have had this past year. Of course, starting out are Melina. How is she doing? How's she coming back?
She's wonderful. She didn't grow any. I think we're going to try putting rim pads on her and make her look a little bit taller, and then we'll take them back off when it's time to race, because we raced her barefooted and she was real good that way. But at least this way people think, oh, look, she grew, and we just won't tell them she's wearing platforms. But nah, she looks great. It's a pleasure to get. There was a lot of decision making whether to bring her back or breed her. And the horses like her, they don't come along, you know. Right. And if you do this to have a good horse, and when you get a good horse, you like to try to enjoy it. So hopefully we'll enjoy it and not second guess our decision to bring her back. But everything's, all systems go. We trained her yesterday in 25. She come down here the end of January, so we'll see. Fingers crossed.
I think that everyone from watching social media and the different racetracks you were at were rooting for you and your family. It had to have just been a dream year.
Oh, it was. It was quite fun, you know. A little disappointing at the end of the year that I think she stayed racing as well, but Allegiant really stepped her game up, and you know, she's a very deserved filly as well. And you know, it's a shame we don't get to go head to head with her this year, but she's going overseas, I'm guessing. But it also takes some of the competition away, so that helps us.
John, give us an update on our Liza as well as our Duchess.
Our Liza's one that I trained back last year for the ownership group there, sent her up to Susie Kerwood, and she was one of the dominant fillies in Ontario last year. She is dual eligible to Kentucky, so there was a decision to bring her back. Wasn't as tough as what to do with Melina. The Kentucky program for the 4-year-olds for $50,000, however many legs there are, and then they've upped the program into the Red Mile and further over into Corbin. So very excited to have her back, and we'll campaign her ourselves down here this year and see what she does. So it's going to be fun.
Chat room, again, Kentucky eligible, who competed well.
He gives us a lot of options, you know. Be interesting to see if he can step it up just another notch. He can go with the good ones. Can he beat the good ones? We don't know. He really proved himself last year, showed good speed, very versatile horse. But we got a New York eligible, Grand Circuit eligible, Kentucky eligible. So hopefully we can find the right spot. You know, it's not about training a good horse. It's about putting the horse where they can make some money and do some good. So we've got a lot of options with that colt. He's trained him back really well. Actually, I went too fast with him last week, and I'm giving him this week off. I don't know where I'm going here. We're in a hurry, I guess. But yeah, he seems really good.
Where are you basing the Kentucky horses?
Once they get the new training center up and rolling, that's where we plan on being. In the interim, until we get more established where we're at, we'll have to figure that out as we go. Doug Paul's coming down next week, and we're going to sit down and figure out who goes where, because we got quite a few that are Kentucky eligible. You know, we won't be able to get them all raced at Oak Grove if there's a bunch of maiden trotting fillies, so we'll have to take some up to Poconos, you know, Chester, Tioga, Meadowlands, and filter them out when the sire stakes. So it's going to be a gradual shift on the 8 horses out there. The 2-year-olds, I'm going to take them all back to Pennsylvania just because I know where I'm at training them down over that track, and I'm not 100% certain where we'll be at, how the tracks play out and getting them ready. But once they get ready, the Kentucky horses will go down there. So as as the training center progresses, I've had a bad winter up there. Hopefully, it'll work and coincide with when we start sending more horses out there as well.
Cork and Carry, now known as RL, a bar hopping out of Flying Glider, a $175,000 Lexington purchase, dual eligible.
Yeah, she's, you'll watch her. She's, I don't want to say who she reminds me of training down last year, but she's just a nice, big, strong filly. She doesn't do anything. She's very matter of fact. Everything goes where it's supposed to go. Just a pleasure to have her around. She's been kind of a little bit of a surprise in a way. She's a big filly, but very athletic, and we'll see.
Lit Up, a bar hopping again out of Miss Fidget, a $25,000 Harrisburg purchase.
She's my underdog there. Both bar hopping fillies, I'll put them up against anything we've got or have had. Patty Hogan and Eddie Lohmeyer bred her. I knew the family. I trained a sister to her for them a little bit. Liked the filly and was kind of expecting her to go for a little bit more than what she did, but she's another one, just a very solid filly. She doesn't have the dual eligibility. Maybe that kept her price down some, but she is a little dual eligible because she is born and raised in New Jersey, so she's got the New Jersey Development Fund and some of the races that go along with that. So, she'll also have opportunities to race at 2 different venues this year.
Demimond, a Calgary Games out of Demoiselle, Hanover, the second dam, the mother of Donato Hanover. Hunterton, $20,000 Lexington purchase, a Sweden eligible as well as Kentucky.
Kentucky eligible. The Sweden eligibility won't be kept up. I know when they offered people to have the chance to breed to Calgary Games, there was a lot of demand for them. Didn't really know the horse or anything. One of my other owners bred a mare to him. It was a very highly regarded horse, I guess. They seem to be very lukewarm reception to them at the sales for the buyers. With a Kentucky eligibility, made it enticing for me. Thought he'd come from a really good family. I liked him as an individual. We turned him out. I thought he was lights out. And he's just kind of one of these steady Eddie, plain Jane type of colts that doesn't do anything wrong. We'll see what a Calgary game does, but for that price and for that pedigree and being Kentucky eligible and all the opportunities that affords you, we'll take a shot. Maybe it's a swing in the dark that we'll hit, or we'll run into the wall because the lights are off and we are in the dark.
You do that. You are one of the guys that are not afraid to take a chance and you don't have to spend a fortune to get a horse that you like.
Not for me, myself. I'm a cheapskate. It's nice to be able to go to the sale, and I have some owners nowadays that they'll back up the picks on the top horses and that, and been able to put them in the barn. But I'm just still a dumb farm boy from Illinois, and I like knowing where I plant my seeds. And a lot of times them seeds don't cost as much as some of the full-grown trees. But so we'll see. Yeah, I need to make money somehow.
Tell me about Stormy Seas. First crop Captain Corey, a colt, $50,000 Lexington purchase.
They seem to be good reports coming on the Captain Corys. I wanted to try one of them. Seen him out at Kentuckiana Farm. It's a great looking colt, moved well. Same thing, come up at the right price, I thought, for where we were at. I kind of thought when he came into the sale ring that the way Aki was buying all the Captain Corys up, so at least he's putting a lot of his eggs in the same basket. I said, not the dumbest cookie in the jar. So I figure we'll follow his lead a little bit and maybe reinforce my thinking. And I thought, we'll never get him, because I seen him standing on the other side of the sale ring. So, well, he's been buying them, he'll buy them. And I kind of felt lucky that we got a chance to buy them, and very pleased with them so far. I know Carter Pinsky's got some Captain Corys, and they got a real good look to him. And we'll see if he's a stud or not, I guess.
Moving on to Rubens, a Chapter 7 from Concord, $110,000 Harrisburg purchase.
He's one that I was hoping we didn't have to spend that much money on. He's foreign bred on the dam side. Nice little colt for New York. He's not a real big colt, but I'm not opposed to having a smaller Chapter 7, as attested to by our Molina and some of the other ones. But kind of thought maybe with that pedigree that we would be able to pick him up for less than 100. However, he was one of the last Chapter 7s that sold, and there wasn't that many New York eligible trotting colts, so I think the market dictated supply and demand a little bit on the price there. But he's another one similar to Demimond, the Calgary Games colt, just kind of a little plain, steady Eddie type colt. Today in his video, he made a little couple breaks here, real windy, a gust of wind come through, and he screwed around leaving, and then at the head of the stretch we had a little mishap there with some interference that cost us, but he's okay. He's a nice colt. I'm pretty pleased to have him.
Malibu, Cindy, a Chapter 7 as well. Is this a homebred?
This is a homebred that Crawford sent to me, yes. She's, she's royally bred, and she's, I don't ever get a chance to really sit behind her that much. Tyler seems he's a little Malibu hog. He just hops in and always wants to go with her, and always stalls her virtues as to what type of a filly she is, but doing everything right, so we got our fingers crossed. That pedigree, that look, she's a great gaited filly. See what happens.
Speaking of Tyler, let's talk about another one that he likes, Miss Heston.
Yeah, this is the reality of this business. We put her in there. You asked me to pick some horses out. Here's a nice little pacing filly that he purchased on OnGate through the yearling auction. And like I said, we had a little mishap, but they had some interference at the head of the stretch here. Had a horse kind of that was jogging shied down, and we had a scatter. Come back, she wasn't real good. About half hour later, she couldn't walk. We just x-rayed her, and she's got a fractured P1 in her left hind. So she's on the trailer, and Tyler's taking her to the clinic. So, it's not always, like I said, gumdrops and roses in this business. You'll see a video where she looks really good training, and a half hour later, we're pretty concerned to see why she's got problems, and, we find out what it is. So, it's part of the business, and we can't always talk about all the good stuff. I'd like to say that, I don't want to talk about horses right now because it's a little depressing, and we got bike week going on, and we got our pig roast. That'd be a hell of a lot better than talking about Heston surgery. So, that's where we're at.
well, I'm glad you're keeping a good outlook about it. Let's move on to Spielberg, a Gimpanzee, Hunterton purchase, $40,000 in Lexington. Tell me about this colt.
He's done nothing. I was a little hesitant. He's out of the Chapter 7's family there. It's a little hesitant about gelding him, but he was just a squirrel, kind of mean and pretty stupid. He was going to hurt somebody around the barn or on the racetrack. And I tell you what, it's been like a light switch. And every day it's like he just gets smarter and smarter and better on the racetrack. And what a nice horse he is. Can't say enough good things about him right now. He goes out, he's all trot, all business, acts like he's got talent, really filling out and developing.
Year after year, you associate yourself with good people. I hear you say the same names, Hunterton, Crawford, Armitage, Doug Paul. These are people that you've dealt with year in and year out.
Yeah, been very blessed. I don't know, I just try to treat people right, or people see me as the goof that I am, or whatever. Kentucky Anna's done a great job for us, as well as the ones you've mentioned. And when we were back home in Illinois, had a good relationship with Terry Hunt at Cottonwood Farm, and Ken and Pat Walker from Fox Valley Standardbreds. They were like second family to us. So I don't know, if you buy from certain farms, they treat you right, you treat them right. It just develops a relationship, and it's nice to be recommended if somebody comes about to one of the farms and asks them their opinion about you or your stable. And I've been lucky enough where they've not called me so-and-so, but called me up to ask me something. So it's worked.
Well, congratulations on your amazing year in 2024. I wish you all the best luck in 2025, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
No worries. Thank you very much.